The hangings. The crowd on Eternum stood silent, eyes fixed on the 5 figures hanging from the gallows. No wind, no movement, just the soft hum of the broadcast drones, their lenses capturing every angle for the Empire's Unity Day transmission. The Emperor's voice, smooth, rehearsed, echoed across 1,000,000,000 screens. Let all see the cost of rebellion. On Outpost 9, light years from the capital, Commander Alara Miles watched the broadcast from her command chair, fists clenched so tight her gloves creaked. She knew 2 of the executed by name. She'd fought beside them during the Vrax campaign, back when the Empire still pretended to value its soldiers. They weren't rebels. Not really. They were dissenters, thinkers, voices that questioned the way the Empire drained systems dry, discarded colonies like husks. Now their necks were snapped for it. But it was the 5th figure that made her lean forward. Cloaked in silver robes, face obscured by an iron mask, the 5th prisoner had no name announced. No crimes listed. Just a silent nod from the executioner before the lever was pulled. Who the hell was that? Her lieutenant asked, squinting at the feed. Alara didn't answer. Her gut twisted. She knew. Arian Vel. Officially, he was a trade envoy. Unofficially, he was the key to a fragile diplomacy effort Alara had helped coordinate, one meant to reach out to the Lothari, an ancient alien race that lived deep beyond human-controlled space. They valued honor above all, and they never forgot a slight. And Arian had just been executed on live broadcast by the very people he tried to stop from going to war. Alara stood, her voice low and clipped. Cut the feed. Lock down all comms. Send a black channel message to Cypher Red. Commander. Do it. The room fell into motion around her, officers confused but obeying. Alara moved to her private console and opened a sealed data cache. One phrase blinked at her from Arian's final transmission. Contact made. Accord close. Awaiting safe confirmation. The timestamp was 3 days before his arrest. He'd done it. He'd actually gotten through to them. And the Empire had killed him anyway. An alert chimed. Alara turned to the tactical feed. A long-range sensor ping. Origin. The Lothari border. One ship. No signature. No authorization. She zoomed in. The vessel shimmered like obsidian glass, edges pulsing with slow, deliberate energy. Unknown ship entering Empire space. Orders, the comms officer asked. Alara didn't speak. The ship fired. A beam of white light sliced across the void. Clean, surgical. The Empire's listening post on the fringe of Sector J5 was gone. Vaporized. No warning. No demands. No survivors. Alara exhaled, ice settling in her chest. This isn't a war, she whispered. Not yet. But it would be. And humanity would have to choose which side of its empire it wanted to die with. Sparks in the void. The Empire called it sabotage. The destruction of Listening Post J5 was spun into a neat little lie and filed away for the public. A rogue reactor, they claimed. A minor malfunction. No cause for concern. But Alara Miles knew better. In the cold silence of her command bunker on Outpost 9, she replayed the footage for the 5th time. There was no malfunction. The Lothari strike had been precise. Calculated. A warning, not an escalation. They were testing the waters. Alara. Came the encrypted voice over her private comm. The speaker was Juno Brand, rogue trader, black market tactician, an occasional smuggler of morally ambiguous goods. I saw the blast vector. That wasn't a warning shot. That was restraint. Alara paced the control room, boots echoing over the steel floor. They could have hit a fleet. They chose a station with no weapons, no military presence. They're giving the Empire a chance to admit what it did. They won't. Alara stopped. They buried Arian. Juno was silent for a moment. Then the Lothari will bury them. Across the stars, the Empire doubled down. News feeds rolled footage of the hangings in glorious slow motion, painting the victims as monsters. Rebels, traitors, threats to the sanctity of human unity. Fleet conscription notices went out within the hour. Ships mobilized from every corner of the core worlds. And still, not a word of the Lothari's involvement. Because admitting the truth would mean admitting they'd executed a foreign envoy under the guise of order. Underscore 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 underscore. Far from Eternum, in a star-cloaked chamber of obsidian and fire, Viren, High Leader of the Lothari Vanguard, stood before the council synod. They hung our emissary like a criminal, she declared, her voice a melodic snarl. He came in peace. We gave them our trust. Humans are impulsive, murmured one of the elders. Not all are guilty. Viren's full eyes glinted. Then we'll burn away the rot. Let the rest crawl from the ashes if they dare. The synod deliberated in a chorus of light and thought. The verdict was swift. The reckoning was authorized. Underscore 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 underscore. Alara's terminal chirped, an incoming signal. Not Empire coded. Encrypted. Scrambled. She decrypted it with an old rebel key phrase, truth before chains. The message was short. A data packet. She opened it. Arian's final accord. The Lothari Pact. Scanned pages. Alien glyphs paired with human translation. A peace treaty. Cultural exchange. Shared technology. Terms of alliance. Signed. Sealed. Ready. He'd done it. And they killed him for it. Ilara, Juno's voice came again. More urgent. Multiple Lothari ships just decloaked in Sector K9. No weapons drawn. They are capturing Empire ships, not destroying them. She narrowed her eyes. Why? Interrogating. Broadcasting footage of the hangings on loop. They want justice. Publicly. Ilara tapped the screen. Her reflection stared back. Tired eyes, scarred brow, resolve hardening. Then we give it to them. She turned to her crew. Open a channel. All rebel contacts. All fringe worlds. The ones who've seen behind the curtain. Tell them the war's already started. And this time, humanity wasn't just a victim. It was a spark. Rebels and revenants. The rebel ship Kestrel slid silently through the debris field, its stealth plating absorbing the scattered pulses of nearby Empire scanners. Ilara stood on the bridge, watching the skeletal remains of a destroyed patrol frigate drift past. No life signs, Juno reported from the pilot's chair. Lothari didn't fire to kill. Just shut it down. They are showing restraint, Ilara said. More than we ever did during the Vrax campaigns. She didn't say what they were all thinking. The Empire didn't deserve it. Dr. Enid Carr, their onboard linguist and former academic exile, emerged from the lower deck, clutching a data drive. I found it. Orian's original transmission. Full archive. It was never meant to be classified. Ilara took the drive and slotted it into the ship's console. The main display flickered, then resolved into the familiar, calm face of Orion Vel. This message is for those who come after, he said, voice steady. The Lothari are not the monsters we were taught to fear. They are capable of peace, genuine, binding, sacred peace. We have an accord. All that's needed is the Empire's blessing. I fear it will not come. Static flickered. Then another voice, unfamiliar, cold, and human. Terminate him. Quietly. The hangings will serve as warning. The audio cut. Juno swore under her breath. They knew. The Iron Synod planned it. They feared peace would loosen their grip, Ilara said. They didn't just kill Arian. They killed a future where we weren't tools. A low alert beeped on the console. An incoming Lothari ship. No weapons locked. No attack posture. Just a single line of translated text. We will parley. Prepare docking protocols, Ilara ordered. And patch me through. Underscore 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 underscore. Minutes later, in the Kestrel's dim cargo bay, the air shimmered as the Lot-Harry boarding pod latched onto the hull. The doors hissed open. Va Ren stepped through, tall, sleek, armored in dark plates that rippled like liquid metal. Her 4 eyes scanned the room before settling on Alara. "You carry the emissary's voice," Va Ren said, gesturing toward the drive. "I do," Alara replied. "And I know what the Empire did." There was a pause, heavy with tension. "You seek vengeance?" the Lot-Harry war leader asked. "I seek justice," Alara said. "And a future where we don't keep repeating this." Va Ren's eyes narrowed. "Many humans still serve the ones who ordered the hangings. Then we burn their lies down, together." Va Ren stepped forward. "We will not spare collaborators." Alara didn't flinch. "Then give them a chance to surrender, to switch sides. Those who stay with the Empire choose their fate. But if you want an ally, not just a tool, you let humanity fight this war our way." The silence stretched. Then Va Ren inclined her head. "We strike at the source. The Iron Synod." "Agreed." They shook hands, flesh to claw. The war had begun. But for the first time, humanity wasn't fractured. It was united, furious, wounded, and burning with resolve. The Reckoning Accord. The Black Site Moon codenamed Silence had no official designation. It didn't appear on maps. No transport lanes passed near it. Yet deep beneath its fractured surface, the Iron Synod pulled the strings of an entire empire. Until today, above its crust, the joint fleet of rebel ships and Lot-Harry war cruisers emerged from fold space like a thunderclap in still air. From the Kestrel, Alara Miles watched targeting data bloom across the screen. "All units, mark your primaries. Disable, don't destroy. We're here for justice, not slaughter." Juno cracked her knuckles. "Been waiting to tear this cancer out since they left me for dead on Lyravi." "Then let's make it hate." The fleet surged forward. Empire turrets lit up first, flinging plasma bolts toward the advancing ships, but the Lothari's prism shields bent light itself around the vessels, scattering the fire harmlessly. Rebel corvettes wove through the gaps, deploying EMP mines. One by one, the automated defenses fell silent. On the surface, breach pods slammed into hardened bunkers. Squads of rebels and Lot-Harry warriors poured into dim metal halls. Enid, carrying encrypted Empire files, followed close behind, guiding them toward the inner sanctum. Underscore 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 underscore. Alara stood in the Synod's central chamber minutes later, flanked by Va Ren and 2 Lot-Harry guards. The Synod's robed figures, once powerful and untouchable, cowered behind overturned desks and flickering projectors. "You killed Ari and Vel to preserve your power," Alara said. "You started a war with silence, thinking we'd never speak." A gaunt man stepped forward, Minister Halvar Kren, the Synod speaker. "You have no authority here. You're traitors, collaborators." Va Ren's voice rang like a blade drawn across stone. "We offered you peace. You gave us a corpse." Kren sneered. "We gave you a warning." Alara drew her sidearm and leveled it at the nearest terminal. She fired once. The console exploded in a storm of sparks. "That wasn't a warning," she said. "That was." The Synod members were taken into custody, alive. Not executed, not exiled. They would stand trial before the Lot-Harry Synod, bound by the terms of a new pact, the Reckoning Accord. Underscore 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 underscore. Weeks later, from the ruins of the Empire's core network, a new broadcast echoed across the stars. Ilara stood before the camera, wearing no rank, no insignia. We were told the Empire was humanity's only future, that the rest of the galaxy feared us, needed us, obeyed us. But the truth is simpler. They tolerated us. And when they saw what we allowed, what we did to those who reached for peace, they responded. She paused. We don't fight this war for conquest. We fight it to ensure no envoy is ever silenced again. No truth buried in shadow. Behind her stood Viren, flanked by Lothari guards. We are not allies in vengeance, Ilaris said. We are partners in survival. And across the galaxy, colonies raised rebel flags. Imperial forces surrendered. Others joined the cause. The Empire had fallen, and from its ashes, humanity rose, scarred, unchained, and determined to never kneel again.